Listen to this. A long, slow rumble climbing up to a bright, clear ring. Play it again in your head, from the low end to the high end, from the rumble all the way up to the bright ring. There is one single thing that changed across that whole journey. Not the loudness. Not the instrument. Nothing complicated. Just the speed of the wiggle. That is the complete explanation of pitch. Slow wiggle, low sound. Fast wiggle, high sound. The whole story fits in those two sentences, and the next few minutes will show you exactly what they mean. Before we go further, one breath of recap, because everything here builds on it. Sound is vibration. When anything moves back and forth, pushing and pulling the air around it, those pushes spread out as invisible ripples, and when those ripples reach your eardrum, your brain hears sound. Now, the key question is, how many of those back and forth pushes happen every second? That number has a name, frequency. And frequency has a unit of measurement, hertz. 1 hertz means one complete push and pull cycle every second. If something vibrates at 400 hertz, it completes 400 full cycles every second. You already know this concept. When a sound feels low, the frequency is low. When a sound feels high, the frequency is high. Frequency is just the name we give to the speed we can hear. Let us see this directly. Here is a tone vibrating at 110 Hz. Just 110 pushes per second, moving slowly, lazily. Look at the wave on screen. It stretches wide across the window with only a handful of peaks. That wide, slow shape is what 110 Hz looks like drawn out. And it sounds low, a deep, rounded tone. Now compare that with a tone at 880 Hz. 8 times faster, 8 times more cycles crammed into the same space. The wave on screen tightens up into a dense row of rapid peaks, and you hear a bright, high sound. The picture and the sound match exactly. More waves packed into the same window means a higher pitch. Fewer waves means a lower pitch. Once you have seen this, you cannot unhear it. Here is something worth sitting with. Pitch is not a ladder with a fixed number of rungs. It is a smooth, unbroken slide from the lowest sound a human can perceive all the way up to the highest. That opening glide moved through every single frequency between 220 and 880 Hz, touching each one in turn, with no gaps. Watch the number rise as the glide plays again. It climbs through every decimal, every fraction of a hertz, none of it missing. Any point on that scale can make a sound. The question is, which points are worth stopping at and naming? Music does not try to use all of them. That would be chaos. Instead, musicians settled on a small set of fixed stopping points and gave each one a name. Those stopping points are what we call notes. Across the world and across history, musicians from many different traditions arrived at the same practical answer: 12 named pitches per octave is the right number. Not 10, not 20. 12. On a piano keyboard you can see all 12 laid out clearly. 7 white keys and 5 black keys. Each one is a fixed, named frequency, the same on every piano in the world. Play the note C on any piano anywhere and you hear a specific, agreed-upon number of wiggles per second. That sameness is why 2 pianos in different cities can play the same piece together. The keyboard is simply a row of named stops sitting on the continuous pitch scale. 12 of them, then the pattern repeats. The white keys carry names from the musical alphabet, C, D, E, F, G, the note A, and B. The black keys carry the names in between. 12 total, before the pattern starts again. One of those 12 notes has a special status, the note A above middle C. It sits 9 steps above the C in the middle of the keyboard. Its frequency is 440 Hz. 440 wiggles per second. That particular number was chosen by agreement, not nature, but it has been the global standard for over a century. Every orchestra on Earth tunes to this pitch before a performance. The oboe plays it first, and every other instrument listens and adjusts until they all vibrate at 440 Hz together. It is the fixed landmark the whole of Western music anchors to. Play the pure sine tone and you hear the raw frequency, a clean, steady 440 wiggles per second. Then play the piano note at the same pitch. Same 440 Hz, completely different timbre. Different wave shape, different texture, but the identical frequency. Pitch is the same. The sound is different. That difference is called timbre, and it belongs to a later episode. So pitch is vibration speed, counted in hertz. Slow waves sit low. Fast waves ring high. Music names the frequencies worth returning to, 12 per octave, laid out on the keyboard, with the note A above middle C sitting at 440 Hz as the universal tuning anchor. That is pitch, completely. There is one more dial on every sound, though. You have just learned about the speed of the wiggle. The next episode is about the size of the wiggle. How tall the wave rises and falls. Not how fast the air moves, but how hard it pushes. That dial is loudness.